I think a lot of people probably saw the Andrej news, Andrej Stojakovic declaring for the draft, and got pretty nervous. Uh, so you obviously know NBA draft, college, portal, how the thing works. So sort of break it down. Should Illinois fans be nervous about Andrej Stojakovic declaring for the draft? And what are your thoughts on all of that?
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I was surprised and a little bit of shock that when I saw that, but at the end of the day, it's not like he's going to go to the NBA. You have the option to do this. They made this rule like 10 years ago where you can go in the NBA draft. Of course, you can hire an agent now. Everyone has an agent. Before, you couldn't even hire an agent and come back to college. But for 2 years, it was like, I think for like 2016, 2017, it was like, all right, you can declare and go through the process, but you can't hire an agent. And then it's kind of funny now. Everyone has an agent in college. People have agents in high school. So that's obviously not the rule anymore. But you're allowed to do this. Merez Johnson's doing the same thing. Merez might end up leaving because he's actually on mock drafts. But Andre's not on any first round or even second round, mock drafts. If he were to get drafted, it would be in the second round. And the second round is garbage now in the NBA draft because of NIL. I mean, you see some of these guys like – they would go to the draft if they were a second round pick back in the day because they wanted to get paid at least legally and not on the table by their college. So the second round's terrible. Only 71 players enter the draft this year, I think, I don't know if that was from college or total, but I saw that like right before we hopped on, which is crazy. And at the end of the day, he's going to come back. I don't blame him, I guess, for getting feedback. I kind of agree with the people that say you don't really need to go through the NBA draft and know what you need to improve on. But at the same time, it's a free thing to do. You get to work out with other pros. You get to, be in front of NBA GMs. And I'm sure his dad is kind of nudging him to do it a little bit too, just being an NBA guy. But at the end of the day, he's not going to go to the draft. If he does go to the draft, that's just not smart on his part. He's not going to get drafted. He can make $3+ million at Illinois. And that's the beauty of NIL.
Yeah, I just found what you were talking about here. So only 71 players entered the draft, down 106 from last year so far.
363 from 2021.
That's insane, yeah.
I mean, you think about it, like all these guys that are borderline second round picks, like even Tommy and, probably after his sophomore year, his first year at Illinois, like if you're going to be a second round pick, you can go make money. Like those are the type of guys that would leave before, but now you can make more money in college. Of course, if you're a first round pick, projected to go in the top 20, then you should go. But even like Merez, who's 26 on ESPN, it's like, if I don't get drafted in the first round, like I'm kind of leaving money on the table at Michigan. Plus, at Michigan, you're the star. You go to the NBA, you might be in the G League. You're taking commercial flights. Nobody's at your games, so it's tough. You see a lot of guys returning, like Thomas Houck on Florida. He's returning, and other guys like that are borderline first round picks. It makes college more talented. I think the NBA is going to need to adjust and pay some more money for these late first round picks. So they want guys to go earlier.
What do you think Andre is going to hear when he goes through this process? And what do you think because at the end of the day, some guys are just limited, right? Like a guy like Kylan, like I love Kylan. I'm super glad the hometown kid came home. But you watch him play, you're like, at the NBA level, his role is going to be limited. He's not going to be dunking on people. He hasn't proven to be the greatest three-point shooter. Like some guys are limited. Like, what do you think Andre is going to hear, and what do you think he can improve on realistically?
Yeah, I think his jump shot is something that he's going to hear a lot. He wasn't a terrible three-point shooter in his first 2 seasons at college, but of course last year it dropped really, really bad. And it was, 24%? I mean, that's horrendous. I love the guy, but that's a horrendous three-point percentage for a, guard wing type player. And he's more of, in the NBA going to be a driver, cutter, 3-and-D, type guy. Like if you can't shoot a three and you don't play defense like insanely well, it's kind of hard to carve out a role. That's why Brad's kind of been on him about defense and rebounding, and also I see him as a pretty good cutter too recently. So I'm sure they have those conversations with the guys. Like, this is your role in the NBA. This is the role you're going to have here, similar to like Zvonimir Ivisic. It's like, yeah, you can go be a starting center somewhere, but this is the role you would have in the pros or the NBA. So I think Andre just continue to improve on what he's good at. Similar to, I guess some other guys, like we talk about Ty Rodgers, who needs to improve a shot, which is also true, and so does Andre. But at the same time, it's like you're good at what you do. You're a good driver. You're a good scorer. Like, continue to do what you're good at. You don't have to, like, reinvent the wheel at this point in your NBA career, but he does need to improve, or his college career, I should say, and he does need to improve his three-point shot, though. Like, get it up above 30%. Or even like 29, something respectable. Like, make one out of every 3 threes that you take, especially if they're, wide open catch and shoot. He's not going to be a guy that's, hezzy pull up. He's not going to be a step back, Keaton Wagler, 3-point shooter. But if you can make open threes, catch and shoot a million of them this summer, and hopefully that'll help. I think that's an area where he's going to hear from NBA GMs like, you need to improve your jump shot.
I think if you would have told me when the season ended, Andre's going to go through the process, it wouldn't have been that scary. Like, Coleman went through the process. I know it's been a little bit different. Obviously, Kofi and Io went through the process. Like, there's not really a downside to doing that since you can come back. It's a little bit weird that he did all the I'm back videos and all that stuff. Maybe they just really wanted to build momentum with all the guys back to back. So they're like, hey, Andre, can you announce it now? Even though we know you're going to do the NBA draft feedback thing.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think the timing of it just, to me, feels weird? What, like, again, it's less about him going through the process, and it's more of that he did the whole I'm back thing and then now has announced going to the NBA draft when he could have done the NBA draft thing first.
Yeah, well, I do think he is going to be back, which is why he said that. I think that there's no doubt in my mind that Andrej Stojakovic is going to be in an Illinois uniform next year. It would be more nerve-wracking if he entered the portal and then did it. You see guys do that all the time. And even Coleman Hawkins, when he didn't do that, he talked on it. He was like, I regret not doing that because I went back to Illinois and I have no other option if I'm not going to the NBA draft. It's like I don't really have leverage with payments or whatnot and NIL, but I think it would be more nerve-wracking if he did that. And same with Tommy. Like, I wasn't going to be surprised if he tested NBA waters and, kind of get feedback from GMs, but it's like NBA or coming back to school. He's not in the transfer portal. There's 2 options. And Merck said the same thing. It was like, I'm either going to the NBA or coming back to Illinois. And the NBA just doesn't make sense for Andre right now, as much as he wants to be an NBA player, as much as we want him to be a professional basketball player eventually. It just doesn't make sense financially. He's not going to get drafted. He would be in the G League. It's like I think they already have the NIL payments or contract, I should say, ready to roll, which is why he's back. And I think it's kind of just like a why not at this point for him. It's like, I'm coming back to Illinois. I'll be back in June, the same time as anyone else and everyone else in the squad. So it is a little bit weird. He kind of did it like so under the radar, but I don't know why he did that, but maybe he just wanted to keep it, low key because he is coming back anyway.